We arrived at Auschwitz station at night. I don't know what time it was, but it was dark. When the doors of the cattle cars opened, light shone on us and we heard our voice shouting in German.
Wagen stehen bereit.
I'll never forget this. This voice announced
that there were trucks standing by, and whoever couldn't get to a truck would be shot. We all jumped down from the train, running, pushing each other. Everybody wanted to get to those trucks. Some of our people started yelling, "Here they are! Here they are!" The trucks had their headlights on and the motors were running. Then the trucks started moving. Although I was very weak from the 2 or 3 days on the train, I tried hard.
There was room on the truck, but I think it left on purpose. I made my way toward another truck, but I couldn't run anymore. That truck was left too. Again, I think the driver did it on purpose. I thought to myself, after all the misery I went through in the past 2 years in the labor camp, this is my end. The Germans did not make idle threats.
I heard dogs barking and saw a lot of bright lights. The Germans began yelling, "Line up in fives, line up in fives." The Germans, it was always 5, 5, 5. Now I saw men with striped uniforms. I tried to ask them questions, but the only thing they said was, line up, be quiet, don't say anything." When they ask your age, if one of you are too young, don't tell the truth. If one of you are too old, don't tell the truth.
I figured that if they were going to line us up as ages, they weren't planning on shooting us. I started feeling safer. We had no clue.
An SS officer did our first selection. We didn't know what he was selecting us for. He asked a few people their ages, and according to the answer, sent them to the right or to the left. One way led to the gas chambers, the other to work. A few days after our arrival at Auschwitz, I wondered what happened to the ones who had made it to the trucks. I had spent almost 2 years with some of those men in the labor camps. Many were my friends.
Apparently, the Germans had played a trick on us. They took the guys who made it to the truck right to the gas chamber, and they put the rest of us in quarantine in Birkenau. I never heard of that kind of a selection again. Clearly, it was not my time to die. I'm Felix Opatowski, and my book is Gatehouse to Hell. I was born in Lodz, the second largest city in Poland. In Lodz was approximately 200,000 or more Jews. In 3-4 weeks, the Germans took already whole Poland. When they marched in, everything is closed. Then a week later, or 10 days later, the Jews have to put in the Star of David, one on the back and one on the front. Sometimes in April, the Lodz had to close up. I probably didn't eat for at least for 10 days in a row. There was nothing, absolutely nothing. And that was the beginning of the worst time in my life. You cannot explain what it means, hunger. It's impossible. By the time you don't eat on the 3rd day, you start getting headaches. And you don't know really what the headaches are because your brain is not working normal. You're hungry. You start getting violent, agitated, and you don't know what to do with yourself. Now comes the worst part of being hungry. Sleep. You can't fall asleep when you're hungry. There was no such a thing that anybody being tough in Auschwitz. As tough as you've been, the faster you're going to the gas chamber. If the Nazis didn't kill you, if the gas chamber didn't kill you, the coppers kill you. If the coppers don't kill you, the blockers that kill you. And if they don't kill you, those other guys can grab a piece of bread for you, and if you yell out or resist it, they can kill you. It was impossible to go one day without being killed. It is very important that you have somebody you could lean on. Jakob never had a brother. He was about 5 years older than me. So he took it to me like I would be his younger brother. And little by little, we really helped each other. We helped a lot. He kept 3 weeks before me. So he's a somebody already, right? And 3 weeks in Auschwitz, when you're head of another guy, that's a prime. That's prime. But you know what to do, you know where to go, and you know where the gestures. Jacob explained to me, anything what you're going to do on your own, it's not going to be good. You're going to eat on your own, it's not good. You're going to pee on your own, it's not good. Whatever you're going to do, it's not good. You all have to go with a group together. So you're not going to be sort of like sticking out like a sore finger, where you say. And we start talking about guest chambers, Howard, who heard them, this is your name, all these things happen in a few days, 2 weeks maybe. I says, it's connected. Now you're telling me the smell is from the smell is from our brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers. He says, yes. And right away, my mind came to my mother and my father and my brother, you know. Those things what you hear, it's not normal things, but they are existing. I have been in Canada since 1949. We didn't have a family, I made a family. My wife, 4 kids, 5 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren. I'm the luckiest man alive. It was a fantastic night. I didn't want to talk about it, but while I have your attention, I just would like to mention one thing. Every time a transport came around to Auschwitz, the loudspeakers come up, whoever's going to be outside, that's going to in the barracks, going to be shot. But one day, one transport came around, and they said, this time, if we're going to see you peeking out even, we're going to burn the whole barrack. That was a transport which came from France. They had a camp, and they sent in a transport of kids. The kids went down from the ramp, going straight to the crematorium. The little ones are being carried by the older kids. The not so little ones were holding balls in the hand. The girls were holding dolls in the hand, and they were singing songs, French songs, and some even singing Yiddish songs. And I can tell you one thing. I'll never forget it. When I go to bed, I close my eyes, and I'm in Auschwitz. Thank you. Really fantastic night. I really enjoyed telling this. Even it cost me my health, it cost me my heart, it cost me my soul, but I'm still going to do as long as I'm going to live. Because I know that hundreds of millions of people really don't know really what was going on. They went to see a movie, or maybe sometimes to read a book, but they really don't know from the first hand what really was going on down there. So every time when I make a presentation, I feel I'm getting so much out of me. And as you know, when I talk to you about it, I talk with my whole body, with my whole heart, with my whole soul. I'm just not talking like anybody tells a story. And I've lived through all this, and for my mother, and for my brother, and for my father, I have to say what I went through.